Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the University of Kentucky is already facing issues this semester after multiple cars were stolen. And the Pikeville Comic and Toy Convention is happening this weekend with more guests than ever before.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Keaton Hall. The time is just before 5:31. Let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. What's it looking like?
Well, my friend, it's looking okay so far. A little cooler than this time yesterday, but that doesn't mean it's not going to get hot again this afternoon, just like it did yesterday. I think we're going to top out again around 90 degrees, but today, not terrible this morning. Some spots even in the 50s and low 60s. 61 over at UVA Wise. Take a look at our camera over there on campus, and you see a quiet start to the morning over in Southwest Virginia, but just down the road in Clintwood, or I guess just up the road in Clintwood. They're at 59 right now. Grundy's at 60. They could be the next to fall there, but just over the border there, Heartland's at 70. Warmest spot in our region besides Monticello, which is always a little warmer, at 73. Upper 60s, Somerset, London, Manchester, Jackson, Moorhead, Pikeville, and Middlesboro this morning. Also Jacksboro region-wide. Warm air is already back out to the west. You can kind of see, and I think I know what's going on this morning. There's a front that's kind of stalled out. It's kind of dividing the west and the east this morning. So you can see the cooler temperatures in the east, the warmer air still back out to the west. I think it's going to lift back up today. It's kind of floating around here this morning. So I think we'll see that lift back up and some of that warm air surge right back in here. Take us right back to 90 degrees a little bit later on this afternoon. Sun and clouds today, sunset 8:15, and then the heat really is on as we head into Thursday and Friday. More on that in just a few minutes. Keaton.
All right, thanks, Brandon. The mother accused of killing her 17-month-old daughter has been indicted on a murder charge. The Bell County Commonwealth's attorney presented the charges against 21-year-old Erica Lawson of Mount Vernon to a Bell County grand jury yesterday morning. The grand jury also indicted Lawson on charges of failure to report child abuse or neglect, and criminal abuse and wanton endangerment. A man accused of killing a Rockcastle County business owner has now pleaded guilty to all charges. As part of the plea deal, Arturo Perez admitted to murder, burglary, and tampering with evidence in the death of Famie Hellard. Investigators found Hellard stabbed at her business in Mount Vernon before Perez turned himself in about a month later. His arrest citation says he admitted to using a fake gun to rob Hellard, then started stabbing her. Following his plea, Perez was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. 3 Southern Kentucky jail inmates were taken to the hospital after they were bitten by a dog. The dog attack happened at the Casey County Animal Shelter, where some jail inmates are involved in work release. It happened shortly after 7:30 yesterday morning. 4 women were working at the shelter. One of them let the dog out of its kennel and put the leash on it when the dog took off and started attacking. One was able to escape by climbing on top of a pickup truck.
I talked to one of the inmates, and she said that she's very familiar with this dog, and it just never did anything like this before. She says it's always been nice.
The 3 women who were attacked were taken to the Casey County Hospital, then transferred to UK Medical Center. Police say they had no choice but to put the dog down after the attack because they say the dog also became aggressive towards them. Nearly 100 trees snapped and fell at Richmond's Camp Catalpa Park during the severe storms in June. Richmond's Parks and Recreation Department has been working ever since to find a professional cleanup crew so the park can reopen. As Maria Congedo found out, they now have an answer.
If you drive by Camp Catalpa Park, you'll see the orange fencing is still up, and it has been since the storms came through. But people with Parks and Recreation say there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
We are very excited that we're able to start the project. Many people are going to be excited.
Ever since the park was revitalized in 2017,
the entire parking lot is full all the time, and it's one of our best kept secrets.
Aaron Moore with Richmond Parks and Recreation says people have come to really love what it has to offer.
We do have access to walking trails. We've got access to fishing. There's a playground up there. We've got an 18-hole disc golf course up there.
So as one can imagine, the storm damage is devastating.
Every day we get people messaging us on Facebook, calling the Parks Department, hey, when's Camp Catalpa going to be back?
Moore says folks in the community have offered to help with cleanup, but the damage is too severe, even for their own employees.
Downed trees, downed limbs, those are all things that our staff can take care of. But these bigger issues with full-size trees, root beds, they all have to be removed safely.
Moore says the city went through an extensive bidding process over the last few weeks. They have awarded the project to a Kentucky-based company who's expected to be done with cleanup by mid-September.
We have to bid out projects that are over $30,000. And this project is probably close to that number.
Most of the damage, Moore says, is here at the front of the park. Large trees did fall in the back, narrowly missing the park's various structures.
We appreciate the support of the community. They are understanding, and we do appreciate all their patience.
Parks and Recreation does not have a start date yet for the cleanup. They say to follow along on their website and social media pages for updates. Last weekend, several vehicles were broken into and 4 were stolen from a parking garage on UK's campus. As a result, UK police issued a crime bulletin Monday evening. UK Chief of Police Joe Monroe says although this is an extreme amount, it's not uncommon for thefts to happen as students move back on campus. Safety, particularly in parking garages, is helping solve these crimes.
We've invested over $15 million into our security cameras, which is how we caught the video of these individuals.
The security cameras captured photos of individuals who Monroe believes broke into the vehicles. 3 of the 4 have been recovered. For students on campus, Monroe advises them to be mindful of what they are leaving in their vehicles. The Kentucky Community and Technical College System is welcoming a new program. It's called the Education First Employers Program. KCTCS partnered with Team Kentucky and the governor to make it happen. The first class of Education First employers includes 50 employers from around the state. Industries range from healthcare to manufacturing to other skilled trades.
And it provides widespread options for Kentuckians to earn a stable paycheck at quality employers while pursuing their education.
KCTS says going forward they will work to expand the program, inviting companies that are invested in workforce development to join them. Harlan Independent School says some of the lowest property tax rates in the state. While Harlan Independent Schools is making multi-million-dollar upgrades to some athletic facilities, C.D. Morton says the school board has done great in managing their fiscal year. He says to be able to make these upgrades while still being able to offer low property tax rates without causing increase in pay from the community is a bonus.
Thinking long term and making some really tough decisions on things at times. But it's allowed us to be in a position to where we can do those kinds of projects without adding an additional burden to the local community.
Morton also says as long as the property value stays stable in Harlan, then their tax rates will stay similar to where they are. He added that if Harlan provides a good, strong school system, that will help keep the rates low. College admission exams like the SAT and ACT are transitioning to a digital format. The SAT recently shortened their digital test from 3 hours to 2. The College Board, who administers standardized assessments like the SAT, say students should get their scores back within days instead of weeks. As for the ACT, 5,000 test takers in December will try a new digital version of the exam. The online format could improve accessibility and level the playing field.
The Commonwealth of Kentucky has done a really good job at sort of removing these barriers. They provide free ACT tests to all juniors in public schools throughout the state, and sometimes even as low as like 10th graders or sophomores as well.
The new system ensures each student will get a unique test, which would make it practically impossible to share answers. The browser also will not allow a user to open other apps or tabs while taking the exam. Officials with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet warned drivers about lane closings for a bridge repair in Letcher County. The bridge is in the Whitesburg area at mile 2.8 at the Kentucky 15X junction. Crews will be working today and Thursday from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Due to the size of the equipment, the southbound lane will be closed and traffic will move to the adjoining turn lane. Drivers should plan for congestion in the area, watch for signage, and slow down when encountering a work zone. The Pikeville Comic and Toy Convention is set for Saturday, inviting folks from all around to get in on the fun. The event will offer comics, toys, vendors, and more, celebrating its 6th year at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. Kent Leedy says he created the event with a passion for entertainment and is amazed at the support it's received.
Because the first year, like I said, it was just a brand new thing and nobody knew what to expect. And I was really surprised with the support we got the first year, and it's just continued to grow.
The event is Saturday at 10 a.m. and will include more special guests, they say, than ever before. Cumberland Gap National Historical brought in more than 700,000 visitors in 2022. The increased tourism to the area supported 284 jobs and overall brought in $25.2 million. The National Park Service conducted a new survey, the 2022 Visitor Spending Effects. The report showed $23.9 billion of direct spending by nearly 300 million park visitors in communities within 60 miles of a national park. Coming up, Lauryn Hill announces a tour as her iconic debut album turns 25.
And some spotty rain chance to be around today after a cold front arrives this weekend. I'll have the latest forecast in about 3 minutes.